Well, honestly, I think it's a good of a place to stop as any. And hello, everybody of the.
Whoa, we have video from Martin.
I know
Martin
we
is
have
there
video
on
from
video.
Martin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is wild right now. We have confirmed video live feed from Martin. Martin, what jersey is that you're wearing there?
49ers.
49ers. There you go. I love it.
Yeah, I tried to do this now because I want to try to get the camera one last time and see if it's gonna freeze on me.
All right. Well, I think right now it's working okay, so this is good.
Casually just pulling up the Twitch, so we have at least one person watching right now.
Well, Jake, I know more people are going to be watching the Game Changer Sports Network's last. You heard it. Last GCSN Wrestling Hour on a Thursday, that is. So keep that in perspective. Well, guys, I hope you're all doing well. Jake, have you had a nice day today? How's your day?
It's been up and down, left and right, side to side, go diagonal. I don't know, take a left turn on Wilson Street. It's been a wild day.
Wow. I mean, let me tell you something. That means you're like more nimble than me just doing DDP yoga about a half hour ago. My God, you're just moving all over the goddamn place. Martin,
Wait. Is that why you're late to every single one of our shows?
That is incorrect, Jake. I finish on time. I just have constant issues. But that will not happen on Wednesdays starting next week for the Game Media Sports Network. Now, Martin,
we're going to have a real name next week.
We are going to have a real name next week. Martin, how was your day?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I like to hear that. Pretty good. Cannot complain. Well, guys, we are here in the fallout of course, every Wednesday night when we get NXT taking on AEW. Now, I've watched both shows again recently. And I don't know, Jake's trying to...
Before we get into that, there's something way more important we need to talk about.
Okay, something way more important we need to talk about. This is news to me. Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Numero uno, and is not our Lord and Savior Cthulhu. Let's start there.
Well, thank God for that.
So I'm on our good friends at Ringside News right now.
Oh.
And the last headline that I saw, WWE planning better storylines and new characters.
Wow. Well, let me tell you something. Jake, I have to tell you something, man. I feel like whatever show we talk about one day, the next day they're responding. Somebody in the corporate towers of all these places are watching the three of us and all of you who comment here at the GCSN Facebook page, and of course all over the place. You got us on Twitch. You got us on Talk Interference Sports feed as well. You got us on YouTube. But Jake, it seems like someone's listening because all we were complaining about the last episode before the Wednesday Night Wars was no storytelling, characters are bland and the same, predictability, and now they're telling us that we're going to get new characters and more interesting storylines.
The question is, how much do we trust them?
Yeah, it's hard to tell with them. It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but it's also my question is what's going to be the magical thing that makes this better? What's the thing that's different than what they were doing before? Because as I understand it, and from what they tell us all the time and what they tell their shareholders, every time we put a product on TV, we are trying to create the best product for our audience, and we're trying to compete, and we're trying to make good television. So what they're basically saying is, yeah, we know that we've been making shit television, so now we're going to start making good TV. Well, where does that happen? How do you just go from making shitty TV to making good TV instantly?
Well, the WWE has a 30-year track record of making really compelling characters.
They do. They do.
That was a direct sarcasm shot at the last 10 years and their exact sentence. Yes, man. Not a fan. I do not believe, just like the day that Shane, Vince, and Stephanie came out and said, we're going to listen to you, the fans. And the next week, all of the fans are just Pikachuing like, the fuck you just say? Because they didn't listen to the fans.
They certainly did not listen to the fans at all. I remember that day because I'm like, wow, we get the power? Yes, people power. This is it. John Laurinaitis has finally won. It's all been a big ruse. But it just felt like 3 months later, I'm like, nah, not really. This is basically the same thing we've always gotten. A little enhanced, but basically the same thing.
So 3 months from now, when we're looking back on this announcement, we're going to feel the exact same way.
I hope not. I really hope not. I mean, if they're going out of their way to specifically say we're going to give you better stuff, I mean, that's a good thing.
They went out of their way to get all three of them on live television to say they're going to listen to the fans and still did nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
I don't know how you have this blind faith in this company.
I don't. I just said to you, I want to believe it's true, but I don't. I have a lot of apprehension to it. What does that mean? Again, I was the first one who said it. Well, what changes? My thing is, give me a tangible thing that you're doing to make it better. Are you bringing in new writers? Did you fire bad ones?
We already know. And the worst way you could go about this already, I'm already against this. We already know Aleister Black is getting repackaged.
I don't like that at all.
Well, now
What?
when we say
What?
repackage, we mean just
He's getting a new gimmick. He's getting a whole new gimmick.
getting a whole new
Of
gimmick.
all people, you're giving Aleister Black a new gimmick when that gimmick slaps.
I don't understand why he needs a new gimmick.
He doesn't. He does not, under any circumstance, need a new gimmick. But that's what they're doing. That's the start to all this. Martin, you were about to say something?
Yeah, he does not need anything. His gimmick is great, but it's just the creative team just doesn't know what to do with it.
Well, that's what it comes down to, Martin. You just said it nail on the head. It's one of those. It's that two-headed monster issue. Us baseball fans always talk about this, right? There's always a game where there's good hitting, but the pitching sucks, and then there's some days where the hitting sucks, but the pitching's great, and you still lose the game. In wrestling, you can have a great character, but if you don't have anything to do with them, if you have no plan, if you have no people to have him work with and interact with, it doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. If Hulk Hogan didn't have the Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter and Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage and all those guys to work with, where would he be? If there was no and he did go to TNA. He might. For all we know, he would have just stayed in Japan. He would have just stayed there and competed.
Captain America.
Exactly. No, I mean, I think, Martin, you spoke a lot of truth there. They just don't know what to do with him. It's a great character. There's nothing wrong with it. That seems to be like what it's like. WWE is like the dentist. You know when you're at the dentist and like they're working on your teeth and they mess up by like poking your gums and you start bleeding. So they go, all right, rinse. Because they have to cover up the fact they just made a mistake. They always do this where they're like, oh, we got to repackage the character. Obviously the character's the problem. Not him.
So there was another way that I took this little tidbit of information. We're getting new storylines and new characters. All right, right away, the first thing I actually think is who's getting called up.
When you think about that, I mean, the only people I can think of is Dijakovic.
Yep.
He's probably going to get called up.
Chelsea Green?
I guess.
I haven't seen enough from her to
They've done
warrant a
nothing
call
with
up.
her in NXT. They've done nothing with her in NXT.
Undisputed Era. You're telling me Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole, and however they choose to do that, isn't going to be on the main event? No, give me that in a Survivor Series match. Team Undisputed Era versus Team Pat McAfee and whoever the hell McAfee chooses on his team. I'm sold. I'd probably watch that.
Yeah, that'd be very good. Undisputed Era might be, you might have Adam Cole show up to a SmackDown.
Yep.
Or a Raw. He's really needed, in my opinion, on Raw, but that's besides the point. Really.
Okay.
I mean,
All right, let's go. Let's dive right into that. Why?
Because I feel like it's complete. What is there for Drew McIntyre? What is there for him to work with? We've already set up Randy Orton for SummerSlam. But let's pretend Randy Orton's not there. Let's pretend that the guy who's been there, who's a veteran, he's been there forever, isn't there. Who's there to work with him? He's already beaten Seth Rollins.
Bobby Lashley.
Kevin Owens at this point is not at that level. Bobby Lashley, he already beat, and Bobby Lashley's doing his own thing now. Brock Lesnar is not showing up anytime soon because it makes zero sense for him to show up because there's no fans and there's no reason to draw anything. So there's no reason for him to show up. Besides that, then what do you got? What do you have? Who do you have then on Raw as a viable person?
Nothing.
They showed you they have no one because they had to use Dolph Ziggler. They showed you that they have no one. Let me tell you something.
Can we go back to that trade real quick? How it's even every single week that passes that Bobby Roode doesn't show up for Monday Night Raw makes the AJ Styles for Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode trade look worse.
Look terrible. It would have
Where is the realism?
It would have made so much sense if Roode got involved in trying to help Ziggler win the title. Because you're like, okay, two guys in one. All right, this makes sense. But it's just Ziggler right now. It's weird.
And like, we get it. Corona.
Let's go back to SmackDown for a second. You have AJ Styles, who at any moment they could turn that into a main eventer. You have Bray Wyatt, Fiend, all the myriad of characters that he has. Braun Strowman, you have Big E, who's about to become a singles competitor for the first time in a long time. Because Kofi Kingston's injured. He's going to be out for a little bit. We know Xavier Woods is just, in my opinion, indefinitely out. I just don't know when he's ever going to come back at this point. It's been well over the 6 months that he's supposed to be out for. I mean, Big E, we know, has talent. We know the guy can roll. He was the second NXT champion. He's a former Intercontinental champion. He was part of one of the most well-booked tag teams in the last 20 years. He has a lot he could do in that division. You have Matt Riddle, who you can make something. My point is, SmackDown's got good pieces. You have Sheamus there, who they're trying to build with. You have Daniel Bryan always lurking around. They have good talent. Raw is desperate for something. Raw's ratings are embarrassing. You throw the UE on there, I'm not saying it's overnight must-see. I'm not saying overnight they go back to 3 million hits. But you start to build foundation there because there's so many places you can go with that. You can have him challenge Seth Rollins and his crew. You can have him go right after Drew McIntyre. You can have him work with any of the tag teams. Have them do what they did in NXT. Have the tag teams go face for the tag titles. Have Roderick Strong try to go after the United States Championship. I don't know. That's where I think he's needed more than anywhere else.
You know what I want for Survivor Series?
Tell us now, Jake.
First off, I want something we've never seen before. For the sole reason of why, at this point, why not? Give me a 10-on-10 Survivor Series match.
They've had those before, haven't they?
No, it's always 5-on-5.
No, they've had 7-on. Well, I know they've had 7-on-7. They definitely have 7-on-7.
They've never gone up to 10 though.
Really?
They've
never had like a real one, because I'm sure the women have had 10-on-10 before, but those were Divas. That was the Divas era. That was not
the Survivor Series match itself that they bill as the Survivor Series match. Never 10-on-10.
Yeah, the
Give
me never 10-on-10.
Give me the day after SummerSlam an NXT Invasion, and that leads to a SummerSlam or a Survivor Series 10-on-10.
My issue with that is that's exactly what happened last year at Survivor Series, though. NXT invaded and they started that whole storyline.
But it wasn't to the degree that it should have been. I want all of NXT to invade Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. All of NXT. You give me all the way down to the trainees that we've never heard of. Give me everybody.
I see what you're talking about. And at the very least, last year's Survivor Series build I thought was great. If it's anything even just like that, I'll take it. Have it that this is the tradition. Let's make it the tradition that going into Survivor Series, wrestling gets fucking phenomenal. Because we've always said that leading up to SummerSlam, for some reason, WWE has always had this seasonal thing where it sucks. And then they go into the fall and they pick it up for Survivor Series. It's weird because SummerSlam's one of the big four, but the months leading up to it always suck. Then the fall comes into it and it gets crazy good, compared to what it was doing before. So I wouldn't mind it. Now Brandon, our good buddy here, how you doing, man? He says this comment: I don't think WWE can put Big E right in the top title picture yet. I'm not saying that, but he has credibility.
Strowman's champion, right?
What?
Strowman is champion, right?
Strowman is champion right now.
Is he face or healing it?
He's a face right now.
Face.
All right, so you need an entire heel turn for Big E to make that work to begin with.
Yeah, you could just have a chip on the shoulder Big E, because what they kind of set up the last week on Raw, on SmackDown, and Martin, you tell me if I'm missing something here. The whole thing was that Kofi was saying to Big E, we know your opportunity should be yours, because even when I was having my Kofi Mania, we all knew you're the star here, bro. You're the guy who could be a main eventer. You have the build. You have everything they're looking for. Go out there and get yours. So you can have a very game-intense Big E that he doesn't care if you're a face or a heel, his buddy or not. It's time. It's time. He's got nothing holding him back. There's no there's no Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee. There's no, stupid Intercontinental title reign that went absolutely nowhere. There's a lot you can do with that.
Yep. So I think at this point, my feeling on the New Day is that they're played out. I think there's not really much more you can do with them beyond tying them and then breaking the Dudley Boys all-time tag team championships record. And it's time to either disband them, which they're never going to do, or add a new element to them. Throw in a Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I would never want the New Day to disband because they are an amazing stable. But I see what you mean. They could actually use a fourth member right now because for the past like maybe a year, maybe 2 years, it's been the same old stuff over and over.
They're very stale. They're all great performers, and they have deserved everything they've gotten, but they are stale. And they need to freshen it up. And that's what, with Big E going solo, we're going to see if that actually works, if they can freshen anything up. But it's a matter of when Kofi comes back, when Xavier comes back, as a cohesive unit, where are we at? Are we still stale?
Now that, my friend, is where it gets interesting with New Day, though. Because what you do is you do a DX 2003 or 2002 reunion. Do we remember what happened in 2002 when DX reunited?
Yes.
To be honest, I was like 8 years old.
Yes. What is that when Triple H turned on Shawn Michaels?
Correctamundo. That was the big turn on Shawn Michaels. That moment, and we're like, get ready to suck it, and turns around, boom, pedigree, him right into the ground. Because what was Triple H's storyline going into that Survivor Series? What a Survivor Series build, by the way, between him and Shawn Michaels. One of the most intense rivalries ever. Is I lived in your shadow for so long, then I took the ball and ran with it, and I'm better than you. You don't come back here and act like it's yours again. To me, if let's say they push Big E and they really get it behind him and stuff like that, he gets near title, his near title, and then all of a sudden New Day's coming back and they're like, hey man, yeah, pancakes, unicorns, dude, let's go have some fun. He's like, nah, guys, not really. I love you guys, you're my boys, but no, I gotta just, nah, come on, man, let's go. And that's when Big E turns because he's tired of making friends. He finally wants to make some money. I think there's a lot you can do with a good breakup of the New Day.
Yeah, that's one way I will be happy with that breakup because we've seen the rumors over and over that New Day's got to break up, and how could they do it? And that's an amazing way to do it right there.
Now I know I walked away from a second ago, but did you guys talk about Brandon's comment about Braun Strowman?
We have not.
Okay.
Nope.
He makes a very...
It actually just popped up as soon as you came back.
There you go. Could Braun come back as a heel after the Swamp match? Now, we know that historically speaking, after the Fiend beats somebody, they change. In some degree, they change. Are they going to continue that with Braun Strowman?
I could see that because I think I saw a report like a week, even 2 weeks ago, that WWE was trying to push the Fiend as a face.
Well, I mean, but why?
I am
Bring up
not
Clayton's
sure.
comment real quick.
Say whose comment?
Clayton.
Oh, sure.
So have Big E go to Raw and join the new Nation of Domination stable and give him the ball. Okay, Clinton, let me be real with you for a second. And I don't know how often you watch me on the show. I know when Andrew Samaru is here, you're all over the show, but I want to make one thing very clear to you. Having Big E leave the New Day just to go join another stable
Can't
makes
do that.
0 sense.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
That makes no sense whatsoever. I would not buy that. I would not get behind that. I would not like that. That is not what's going to make me tune into Monday Night Raw. As we all know, I don't watch Monday Night Raw. I don't watch Friday Night SmackDown. I watch Impact and AEW. And I'm probably going to watch Talking Shop Mania this weekend because it sounds like it's going to be funny as hell. Which we'll get into in a few minutes, by the way.
You know, I don't think him going to another stable makes any sense at all. I mean, I get what he's saying. He's saying, like, let's pretend it's Nation of Domination. You're making him the Rocky character. You know, he be like the person. But they have that already with Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
The point of that group, because right now it's just they're teasing that Cedric Alexander might join it. But let's pretend even if he does or he doesn't, the point of that group has to be to make Bobby Lashley into the star. It has to be.
It sure as hell isn't going to be Shelton Benjamin at 47.
It's not going to be Shelton Benjamin. It's not going to be MVP. Let's just all be honest with ourselves. It's not going to be Cedric Alexander. He's done the most he's already going to do in WWE anyway, as far as accolades and stuff. You know, I really think that's the way to do it. Clinton says, it was just a thought. LOL, I don't care. I'm more of an Impact kick lately. I mean, we can agree to that.
Clinton, tell me, what are your favorite things going on in Impact Wrestling right now? Because I'm also watching Impact, so we can get into a quick conversation about that once you send that. But until then, we'll keep on what we're talking about. Actually, let's go to Talking Shop Mania real quick.
So now, I know nothing about this, Jake. Please educate me.
So Talking Shop Mania is going to be a spoof pay-per-view done by the Good Brothers. That is going to be on Fight TV this weekend. Now, when I say spoof, instead of the Boneyard match, their main event is going to be the Boner Yard match.
Oh, God.
Instead of a Royal...
Troy Ryan involved in this? What the hell is it?
No, he is not. Instead of a Royal Rumble, they are going to have a social distancing battle royal. So it's a spoof of wrestling. It's like your basic not Scream. They made fun of Scream.
Scary movie.
Yeah, it's a Scary Movie series, just the wrestling version. So they're billing it as the worst pay-per-view ever. And all I'm going to say is it can't be any worse than Extreme Rules.
Oh, stop it. Extreme Rules wasn't that bad. You had me, and then I got mad. Well,
so nothing but the Good Brothers? That's all you're liking about Impact Wrestling? That's it?
You saying Good Brothers?
Nothing else? Don't get me wrong. I already like what I'm saying. That means
Impact did its job, though. Impact did its job. He's somebody that he's saying he's an Impact kick lately. He's excited because the Good Brothers showed up in Impact. He's following them, and it's going to make him be exposed to other things in their content. I agree with Luther. Money in the Bank was way worse. Way worse. From a wrestling standpoint, way worse.
Did you guys hear what WrestleForce tweeted out?
No, tell us, Martin. Tell us. You're always good on this, Martin. You always get the breaking news. Tell us.
So they said that the WWE is expected to have another pay-per-view just a week after SummerSlam.
A week after SummerSlam?
Why?
And it's going to be Payback.
Payback? Wait, hold on. So it's not going to be like NXT Payback? It's going to be the main roster is going to have a pay-per-view right after SummerSlam?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing right now, yep.
That makes no sense.
I agree. Like, if we have, Evolution, then yeah, that makes sense. But Payback? No. I hope this is wrong, and it is a pay-per-view, but it's Evolution.
Wait, so it's only going to be wait. Is it only going to be females?
Wait, no. Right now, from what I'm hearing, it's Payback.
It's It's saying that okay. So let's just read the tweet as it is right now. For whatever reason, WWE has added an additional pay-per-view to the schedule 1 week after SummerSlam. Payback will take place August 30th.
That's it? That's all we get?
That's all we got.
I hope they are wrong as Evolution.
That doesn't even make sense. How can you have a actual another main roster pay-per-view literally 7 days after one of your big four? What good does that do you as a company?
That might be the shortest build to a pay-per-view I've ever seen in my life. That's one episode of Raw, 1 episode of NXT, 1 episode of SmackDown Live. That's it.
Yeah, like that does not make sense at all.
Like, I get it. Like, they've done having specials and stuff, like, where it was like, I remember, like, there was, like Smackville. Remember that when they had a live show in Nashville and they made it into a network special. They did StarCast as a network special. That's fine. But you're telling me it's going to be a legit pay-per-view? That's stupid, man. Is this the exciting thing? Is this the new direction? Is this the new storylines that make sense?
Bring up Luther's comment.
Luther. He says he's done with WWE. He's all AEW and Impact.
Why? Tell me why. What about each company is drawing you away or leading you to and wanting to see more? What exactly has your interest? What got your interest and why? All right, well, he does that. Yeah, this whole payback thing, that literally makes you can't run another pay-per-view.
Now, Dane Yates here says it's going to be another Roadblock or Starrcade and just the random matches that would be a house show with fans. But why? But why, though? What's the incentive to do that?
Subscribe to the network? I don't know. I guess I assume it's going to be on the network.
Well, obviously it's going to be on the network. They're not going to have it. They don't have any pay-per-view like that anymore.
That dog does not sound happy, and it is not one of my dogs.
Mm-hmm. Both of you.
It's mine. It's mine.
What kind of dog do you have, Martin?
Border Collie.
Border Collie. All right.
I'm just saying my 3 Huskies might look better than your Border Collie on live stream. Just saying.
What's the matter with you, Jake? All dogs are perfect. I
believe so.
I don't know.
So Luca's response to that was better characters and better stories.
I'm assuming I mean, it's funny because the reason why he's leaving is the thing WWE says they need to get better at.
Yeah.
It's bad when you're a wrestling company and you admit this because what's wrestling?
It's even worse when it's dignified by a comment like that.
But wrestling is just characters and storylines. I mean, I don't care what anybody tells you. If you don't have those 2 things as ingredients, I don't care. It doesn't interest me. It just doesn't. I mean, I hear all the time, oh, you gotta watch these guys. You gotta watch these guys. I'm like, okay, and what? Tell me something interesting that they have. Well, this guy showed up. Well, why? What's his motivation? What's he doing? Where's he going after? Who's their champion? I don't know. That sounds really stupid to me. I don't understand why in the world they do that. That's why I asked also if it was an NXT special, like it was gonna be NXT Payback. You know, maybe like they're gonna have it that like this, but no, but that's because they're already having a takeover special where they're having Keith Lee and Karrion Kross fighting. It doesn't make any sense.
I want you to know that I just got you to completely change the course of your idea for the show today for the last 35 minutes.
Well, you know what? Listen, things change, man. Things change.
Do you want to get into last night now? With minutes to go?
That's what we seem to always do. I mean, last night we had NXT, AEW, as it happens every week. After watching both shows again, removed of the live stream, objectively speaking, NXT was a lot better than the credit I was giving it. It was a lot better. Obviously, there were some big moments for both shows. We know now Keith Lee's taking on Karrion Kross at TakeOver. We know that Dexter Lumis is going forward. He's going to be with what's his name? The guy who looks like Bull Dempsey, but he's not Bull Dempsey. Who the hell?
Boston Reed.
There you go, Bronson Reed.
Jonah Rock.
Getting they're going to be in the mix with the North American Championship. We know it from AEW that Zack Ryder, aka Zack Ryder, current name, Jake, what the fuck's his name? I always forget.
It's his real name, Matt Cardona.
Okay, I didn't know that. I had no idea that was his. I thought it was just a ring name now. So Matt Cardona.
It's his real name.
Okay, cool. I'm going to say this about Matt Cardona. I mean, he had cool entrance, cool look, looks all right. But did he learn to wrestle better?
All right, so I popped huge when I saw Matt Cardona, right?
Yeah, we all did. We all went crazy.
Yeah, it's because it's a new face. I like seeing whatever. Let me dissect this for you.
He's also such a WWE person. That's also it too. Such a WWE person. But anyway, go ahead.
So his whole thing, he is juiced.
He's jacked.
He's
jacked.
So Cody ends his match with Warhorse. And two Stooges from the Dark Order attack Cody, right?
Yes.
Why? What is the motivation for two Stooges from the Dark Order attacking Cody? Is it just to debut Cardona? Because you screwed that up then.
Yeah.
You want to give me... They set up the match, Cardona versus the two... Cardona and Rhodes versus the two Stooges, whatever. But if you wanted to give me... those two Stooges attack Cody Rhodes so Colt Cabana from the Dark Order could get its TNT title shot? Okay, whatever. Something there. And then debut Cardona but there was nothing. It was just these two Stooges, these two nobodies. Not even like Evil Uno and Stu Grayson or Alex Reynolds and I think it was Alex Reynolds and John Silver actually.
Listen, you're setting it up so that Matt Cardona can't look bad. I get that. But that's not good because if he's supposed to be like this big acquisition and stuff, if he's supposed to be like this big hyped up guy, I'm going to expect him to have some good matches. And I'm sorry. I mean, I love the character Zack Ryder. I was super behind him. He was lovable. I think that Long Island Ice Z was a hilarious YouTube series. The early days of Ice-T Long Island Story were hilarious. Then WWE took it over basically and they said, we'll help you produce the show, which basically meant they gave him all the content to say, which means it wasn't really the show anymore. But I don't know, like like you said, I popped when he showed up, but I don't have a huge amount of expectations for him. Martin, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I like it that Mark Cardona showed up. But I think them attacking Cody, I think it might lead up to either Billy Lee or Colt Cabana getting a TNT title shot. That's what I'm thinking right there.
Hasn't Brody Lee already got... No, he got the world title. He did not. Okay. So, realistically, and Nick, you can disagree if you want, which you probably will, but Zack Ryder in the WWE did show flashes of really good wrestling.
Oh, he did. Sure.
So I'm not as concerned about him not being able to perform. I have no doubt that he's going to be able to perform, given those flashes and what I realistically chalk up to WWE holding back Zack Ryder.
What's interesting is the times he had flashes and stuff, they were giving him opportunities. I agree that they absolutely frigged him up a lot and they put him in stupid storylines. The storyline with Kane and Eve Torres killed his momentum. The whole thing with John Cena killed his momentum. I agree. But at the same time, there were moments where they gave him an opportunity and he fell flat. He either fell flat or he also just had unfortunate things happen. I really think they were going to push the Hype Bros as a major tag team in SmackDown, and then he got hurt.
I don't think so.
I think so. they won this big battle royal. They were going to face the tag team champions, and then Zack Ryder gets hurt. I really think they were going to push them hard. I think that when he won the Intercontinental belt at WrestleMania, when they were at 32, and they were like, oh my God, this is a huge pop. This is so exciting, so unexpected. He had one match, and they were like, oh, wait, and with The Miz, and I think the whole plan was for him the title to come off of him, but he didn't show anything in that match with The Miz. People didn't have emotion. They were more interested in The Miz as champion than him ever as champion. I don't know. I want to believe he's going to do good. I'm sure he's a much more competent wrestler than I could ever be in 100 lifetimes. But I'm not sold on he's like this big major star that just showed up in AEW. I want to pull up Clinton's comment. I'm assuming you mean EY. Is that supposed to be
Eric Young?
Oh, Eric Young breaking. Rich Swann's leg caught my attention. EY got ripped and is having the Good Brothers, and Motor City Machine Gun return was great. And then EC3 is back, but Moose needs to drop the whole Ultimate Warrior gig. So he's talking about Impact.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
I think the current state of Impact. Let's go over this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The North had to drop those titles. I felt like it would have been too soon to give it to the Good Brothers. What, you're just going to sign them and give them the titles? Woo! Impact doing Impact things. But no, they went back and reached into their quote-unquote history and brought literally their most loved team, not named Beer Money, back. And got the straps, put it on them. Now they're going forward with that. Fine. I'll take that. Whatever this whole Moose gimmick thing is, I fully agree it needs to go. Oh my God, it's awful.
Yeah, it's going too far at this point.
I think what's going to end up happening with that storyline is that EC3 is going to take that title off of Moose and they're going to unify.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that happened.
And then EC3 is taking the title off of Eddie Edwards.
Which makes the most sense.
And you couldn't sell me on anything else in Impact Wrestling. If EC3 does not take the title off of Eddie Edwards, you got on and fucked up.
Yeah. You got to give him the strap and just let him run with it like crazy.
You have to. Again, you're reaching back into your history books to make what's happening now work, but EC3 is one of the most beloved characters in TNA and Impact Wrestling history.
Especially in recent history. Easily one of the most lovable singles competitors. Again, one of the best gimmicks not named Beer Money, which you're not going to get back anytime soon. I mean, unless isn't Storm in NWA right now?
Yes.
We don't really actually know what's happening with NWA or its contracts because 3 guys have been released since the start of the pandemic. Zicky Dice is no longer with NWA. Ricky Starks is in AEW, and what's his name? Crap! I forget his name. The Dawson brothers, both as well. Zane and whatever. They're not with NWA anymore. NWA is falling apart at the seams during this pandemic.
Well, it's guys going up to them and saying, "Listen, guys, I can go make much more money somewhere else, and I can't just be doing nothing right now. So let me go." And they're just being cool with it, being like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Now this is interesting. Clinton says, no, drop that small-ass Impact World Championship and keep the white TNA World Heavyweight title. I don't think you can do that. I will say this. I think aesthetically, I like the white strap one. I
agree.
Do. But the symbolism of what Moose is doing versus the fact that Eddie Edwards is the official, legitimate champion, you have to put the official real title over the other title. You can't have it the other way around.
It is not TNA wrestling anymore. It is Impact Wrestling. So the Impact title is going to be the one that stays.
TNA, side note, just going to say it, side note, had some beautiful championships at one point.
Oh, yeah.
They're gorgeous.
Oh,
they got
surprisingly, another company's championships that I really, really dug was Global Force Wrestling.
Right? I thought
those were some quietly, secretly, just beautiful championships.
They
That
were.
Dream
I'm gonna look
Team.
them up real quick. I'm gonna share my screen because I want to go over them for a second.
Oh,
'Cause they were-
man.
They were.
What?
What's up?
What were you saying?
No, I'm saying I'm going to look them up right now because I'm gonna share my screen because they are pretty nice belts.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to carry one of those around.
So here, let's see what we got here. So this one was this was their world championship here. I'm just gonna share my screen real quick. I know how to do this. It's very self-explanatory. I think I do, possibly. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, cool. You guys see what I'm looking at here? So this was the Global Force Wrestling World Championship. Okay,
And if we're being honest, that is their worst looking belt.
it is the worst looking belt, and again, it's not
still
bad.
looks great.
Okay. Then what they had was this. They had a next. It was basically the equivalent of like the X Division title. It's the next gen title.
I love this title.
Not terrible. Then this is when they combined, and there was like the X Division Global Force Championship Wrestling, whatever the hell it was.
Lou, to answer your question, yes, Nick Aldis, otherwise known as Magnus from his Impact or his TNA days, is still with NWA, and he is still the NWA World Champion.
Oh yeah. Nick Aldis is definitely still there.
If he ever leaves,
this is the Women's Championship belt. This isn't terrible.
If he leaves, NWA's gonna have problems.
No, definitely not. No, I mean they'll definitely have problems. He's the best thing they have.
He's the only real, like, they have Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy. Other than that,
he's the
Marty Scurll, and we don't know what's going on with that.
He is the perfect 10 pounds of gold champion. He's perfect. He personifies what NWA stands for and what their whole philosophy is and stuff. That promo, I remember the first night of they had NWA Power was phenomenal because of that. He just exudes what it's supposed to be. Dean Yates is Eli Drake. Eli Drake is with NWA.
He is still there. Yeah.
Right. Gentlemen, I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
Let me pull up NWA's roster real quick. We'll dissect this. So, as of right now, I did not know he was on the roster. Okay. We have Aaron Stevens, formerly known as Damian Sandow. Caleb Conley, a lot of work in Impact. Eddie Kingston is still on this list, but we don't know if he's actually on NWA right now. I'm going to have to doubt it given the appearance on AEW. Eli Drake, Homicide, James Storm, Jax Dane, who I believe had a stint in WWE a long time ago. He's a producer. He doesn't matter. The Question Mark, Matt Cross, Matthew Mims, Mr. Anderson, Nick Aldis, the Rock and Roll Express, Royce Isaacs, he doesn't matter, Scott Steiner, Tom Latimer, Tim Storm, Trevor Murdoch. So that's your entire from right here. Let me pull up Anderson specifically. Let's see if we got anything about that. 2016. So Clinton said that Kennedy and Scurll left NWA a long time ago. Kennedy asked for his release. So let's see if I can fact check that real quick. And he's had a long career. Anderson debuted for NWA at the television tapings on September 30th and on NWA Power, defeating Enhancement Talent in a tag team match alongside Colt Cabana. At the December 16th tapings, Anderson won an 8-man gauntlet match to replace the injured Zane Dawson in the NWA World Television Championship Tournament. Anderson, however, was not medically cleared to compete in this tournament, therefore losing his match against Tim Storm by forfeit. There's nothing here about him leaving. Let's see. Ken Anderson leaves NWA. There's nothing here. Yep. So it looks like he's still with NWA. Skrull is as we all know, the booker for Ring of Honor. So he was kind of flipping in and out, so to speak. So I don't know if he ever actually fully had a contract with the NWA to begin with. What do you think, Martin? Do you think he would have had a contract being the booker for Ring of Honor?
That's interesting because he would be working for two companies and not be interesting.
I think there's a very good chance. Well, he definitely did actually work for both companies at the same time. So there had to have been an agreement there on both companies' part for him to show up. It's a matter of what the agreement really said. Now, we have a lot of I'm trying to see if we can get a that's a lot of backstage personnel. Trying to see if we can get a recently left list for NWA, but it looks like I can't. There's a lot going on in the wrestling world. It's hard to follow sometimes. And when you're looking at the NWA roster, it's kind of weak again. It started out weak. They started getting some names. Billy Corgan was doing good stuff with it. And you have James Storm, Eli Drake, and Mr. Anderson, Nick Aldis, and Tom Latimer. You have to build your entire company around those five guys. Especially with Zicky Dice gone. Yes, so Clinton, you are correct. Skrull was brought up in the Speaking Out movement. We haven't heard anything from NWA regarding that. We haven't heard anything from Ring of Honor regarding that. Ring of Honor stayed dead silent on every single accusation in their company, from Jay Lethal to Marty Skrull. We'll let that speak for itself. But it seems like if you're in NWA and you want your release, they're going to give it to you. Martin, you got anything you want to talk about? Anything really bothering you? Anything you want to get off your mind?
Not really. All I know is AEW won the ratings again.
Yep, not by as much as last week, though, and they went down. They were at almost 900,000 last week, and they went down to, I think, 775 this week.
I think so.
Something like that. Not AEW. NXT went up, and I mean, let's be real. From 615, if you're not going up, we have a bigger problem. They went up to somewhere in the 700s. I think it was 715 to be exact. So they worked on catching AEW once again. We have a grand total of 7 minutes left on the very last Thursday night edition of the GCSN Wrestling Hour before we move to 1 day a week for 2 hours next Wednesday. By the way, when we do that, we will not be doing the watch-along for AEW and NXT. We're done with that. We're going to have a normal show talking about normal stuff like we do every other day. And I absolutely agree, Luther. Dixie Carter ruined TNA. Absolutely ruined TNA. So as I was saying, next week when we go back to 2 hours on Wednesday, we will probably have AEW and NXT on in the background because we're wrestling fans at the end of the day still. But we will not be dissecting. We will not be just, no. We're still going to have a normal conversation about dissecting Monday Night Raw during our Wednesday shows. Also, don't forget, we changed some things up. Nick doesn't know about this yet. Monday, when we start our new live shows, Nick will be live talking about baseball with I see those looks. I see those looks. He will be live with Circus Monkey Sports Gavin.
Oh my God! What? What have we done? Do you know what you've done? Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah! Oh, it's gonna be a good Monday night to talk baseball.
In the words of Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack Horseman, what is this? A crossover episode? That is insane! Yes. Wow, interesting.
That was confirmed right as we started this show. I held that in. I held that in all show.
I'm amazed. I'm shocked.
I know. Tuesday, I think we're doing football on Tuesday. You'll have Talk Interference Sports, Nick Eubanks, and myself. Wednesday, we'll have me, Nick, and Martin on the Wrestling Hour. And, Martin's going to be sprinkled in here and there all week, too.
Because Martin's a jack of all trades when it comes to sports.
He can talk about anything.
Yeah, of course.
About everything.
I
Football's
think
my main
Thursday
one.
we're going to have Shane and Tim for hockey.
Wow.
On Friday, we're going to do basketball, and I'm going to be honest, I'm still struggling to figure out how we're going to do it.
You know anybody who likes to talk about basketball?
If you have anybody that can go live once a week to talk basketball, please have them reach out to us. I don't know basketball at all, and I'm going live by myself right now.
And of course, on the weekends, the train does not stop, though. Correct?
Oh, no, never. We never stop here at GCSN. On Saturday, Talk Interference Sports. On Sunday, by the way,
That's the Lord's Day.
He just celebrated going live for 1 full year. And he's been with the Game Changer Sports Network for a full year now. Circus Monkey Sports and Gavin.
It only gets better. It only gets better from here. I don't know. I mean, Jake, we're giving you people so much content to watch.
So much content.
And once again, if you are sitting on here saying to yourself, oh man, I'm going to miss wrestling. I want to see wrestling. That means you got to come on Wednesdays, watch wrestling, which means Jake, once again, and I'll make the stupid little pun like I did before, we just became must-see, my friends.
Now, again, the shows that get the most views, and I'm not saying don't watch shows. Don't watch baseball because you just want more wrestling. But the shows that get the highest viewership will probably be expanded. But that doesn't mean I want you to sit here and say, I'm going to watch wrestling and not baseball. If you like baseball, watch our baseball show. If you like football, watch our football show. If you like wrestling, watch our wrestling show. We're here to provide content and to talk to you and see what you think about the issues going on in every single sport.
I'm very close to you right now, whoever you are right now. Right in your face. All right.
Right in the face.
Right in the face. Boom. Well, guys, we got exactly, what do we have here? About
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes left.
Luther wants more wrestling.
Guys,
he wants all the wrestling.
Here we go. Here's a good question. And it's something that we never really usually talk about here when Andrew's not with us anyway. It's New Japan Pro Wrestling. He asked, so I'm curious about your thoughts on Naito challenging Evil for the dual titles, then saying if he wins the titles, he's going to split them.
Nobody say anything. We don't have enough time tonight to get into this. We have 2 minutes left, which means Clinton, next Wednesday night at 8 p.m., you have to be here. Because that's what we're going to open with. I'm going to write it down. We're going to open with this specifically.
There we go. All right, we're writing it down.
All right.
Wednesday night, we will be talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't think we've ever opened a show talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling before.
I don't think we have either.
So there's a first time for everything. New show, new topics. Wow, Jake, it's almost like we're making new storylines with new characters. Oh, wow. It's so interesting. It's so interesting.
Where have I heard that one before?
Interesting. Anthony agrees. Interesting. Anthony, there. Dean says that he's like Martin, a jack of all trades.
Doug, come on, we need a basketball guy, Dean.
I know. I'm just a Homer Sixers fan when it comes to basketball. I know Dean very well. He is not a basketball guy. He's football, all over the sports. He's great, but basketball's not exactly.
Now, we have 40 seconds left. Right now, it is basketball on Friday night with Jake, and I don't know anything about basketball. Guys, this show is going to be awful. It's going to be the worst show on television.
Dean, we will try to get Andrew on for the show. And as you guys
do
know,
our best.
we have our friends Andrew. We have our friend Mike, who always makes sure. Mike, who's an awesome writer here at the Game Changer Sports Network. He's always going to be cycled on.
We have a rotating cast of guys that do come on the Wrestling Hour, and that's kind of what we want to start doing with every show, but we got to get there.
Absolutely. And, of course, we'll always be on live on Sundays when there is a pay-per-view watch party to be had.
Yes.
Well, guys, it is 1 full hour officially. I hate to say it, but for the last time ever.
On a Thursday.
I'm
Actually,
Nick Lombardi.
It's the last time ever because we're changing the name too.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. This really is the last GCSN Wrestling Hour ever. So we had one more time. We had one last ride. We hope you enjoyed it. One last time. Guys, I'm Nick Lombardi. This guy is Martin Lee. Below me is Jake Jollymore. We'll see you guys Wednesday. Make sure you watch all of our other shows starting Monday. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.